In the heavy, flickering, and increasingly deceptive shadows of the year 2026, we must finally and courageously address the most terrifying reality of our modern era, the systematic, clinical erasure of permanence and the total, uncritical glorification of the temporary and the fleeting. We are currently living within a complex global machine that is pathologically obsessed with the now, a machine that celebrates the disappearing story, the disposable hero, the fast fashion identity, and the ephemeral trend, leaving the modern soul feeling like a single, insignificant grain of sand lost in a violent and directionless wind. But today, in this landmark and monumental 50th chapter of the Timeless Wisdom Archives, we are reaching far beyond the thin veil of the present moment to master the ultimate human achievement, the art of becoming timeless. Christopher is here to speak a hard, crystalline truth that the year 2026 has tried desperately to drown in a sea of digital noise. Your physical existence is a brief, microscopic spark in the darkness of the cosmos, but the principles you embody, the character you forge, and the legacy you consciously build can burn with the intensity of a sun for centuries to come. Most people in this distracted age are frantically building fragile sandcastles on the shore of a rapidly rising tide, focusing all their vital energy on titles that will be forgotten by tomorrow and wealth that will be scattered by the first storm of the era. But a sovereign man understands with absolute clarity that he is not just a biological entity, he is a sacred vessel for eternal ideas and timeless truths. In the year 2026, if you do not have the discipline to consciously build your own legacy, the machine will greedily build your epitaph for you, and it will be written in the disappearing, digital ink of social media feeds that no one will remember. We are learning today that to truly become timeless, you must first learn the difficult art of dying to the trivial and the mediocre. You must stop caring about being understood or liked by the contemporary, fickle crowd and start focusing your entire being on being respected by the ancestors who came before you and the descendants who are yet to be born. The 50th gate is now wide open, and it leads directly to the only version of immortality that is truly available to a man of honor. Analyze the geometry of permanence with me with a cold and penetrating gaze, and observe how the year 2026 tries to sell you a version of success that is as thin, as fragile, and as hollow as a glowing glass screen. True legacy is not built with stone and mortar, which eventually crumble, nor is it recorded in digital databases that will inevitably crash, be deleted, or burn into obsolescence. True, unbreakable legacy is built within the invisible but indestructible architecture of human character. When you cultivate a virtue that is so pure, so consistent, and so unyielding that it inspires a sense of divine awe in those who witness it, you have planted a sacred seed that will outlive your heartbeats by thousands of years. In the year 2026, people are obsessively focused on leaving their mark, but they fail to realize that a mark on the surface is easily washed away by the rain of time. Christopher wants you to understand that to become timeless, you must fundamentally become a principle in human form. You must strive to be the man whose word is an unbreakable, sovereign law, whose courage is a steady lighthouse in the deepest dark, and whose discipline is a legend whispered in the silent halls of time. When you live by a code that is older than your furthest ancestors and stronger than your current, fleeting desires, you are no longer merely a citizen of the year 2026, you are a recognized citizen of eternity. The machine fears a man with a legacy because a legacy cannot be censored by an algorithm, it cannot be deleted by a keystroke, and it cannot be bought by any amount of modern currency. We are building the internal, tectonic strength today to prioritize the eternal over the urgent, knowing with every fiber of our being that the only thing we truly take with us into the void is the quality of the soul we have forged in the relentless fires of life. In the third and most profound layer of this monumental 50th transmission, we must explore the great work, the total transformation of your entire life into a coherent, sacred, and meaningful art form. In the year 2026, most human lives are nothing more than a chaotic, reactive collection of impulses, a fragmented mess of distractions, and a series of historical accidents. But a true master of wisdom views his limited time on this earth as a massive, raw block of marble, where every single decision he makes is a deliberate, calculated strike of the chisel. To build a legacy that never dies, you must possess a singular, driving vision that transcends your own immediate comfort, your own reputation, and even your own physical survival. What is the central, unshakable truth that your life represents to the world? In the year 2026, if you cannot answer this question with total conviction, you are merely a ghost inhabiting a biological body, waiting for the end. Christopher is calling you to dedicate your spirit to something infinitely larger than yourself. This is the secret, ancient alchemy of the wise. By serving an eternal truth, you become eternal yourself. Whether it is the relentless pursuit of justice, the careful preservation of lost knowledge, or the forging of a lineage of strength and honor, your great work is the only thing that will still be standing when the dust and the noise of the year 2026 have finally settled into the silence of history. Stop chasing the hollow, flickering shadows of fame and start chasing the solid, blinding light of true significance. A timeless man does not ask, "Will I be remembered?" He asks, "What will the world be forced to remember because I had the courage to live?" This profound shift in perspective is the true threshold of the 50th chapter, where the man finally transcends the flesh and becomes the myth. As we move deeper into the sacred, dust-covered archives of this 50th chapter, we must confront and dismantle the illusion of chronology. In the year 2026, time is commonly viewed as a hungry predator that eventually consumes everything in its path, but to the sovereign, disciplined mind, time is merely a medium for divine creation. You break the tyranny of time when you align your small, daily rituals with the vast, eternal patterns of the universe. While the rest of the world is frantically rushing toward a fictional future that does not exist, you are standing firmly in a presence that has always been and will always be. In the year 2026, the most radical and dangerous act of rebellion you can perform is to build something that is designed and meant to last for 1,000 years, whether that is a family legacy, a philosophical system, a body of work, or a standard of absolute excellence. This is the long game that the modern world has abandoned in its pathetic rush toward convenience and instant gratification. Christopher wants you to understand that your legacy is being written in the silent, invisible moments when you choose the difficult right over the easy, comfortable wrong. It is being written in the way you raise your children to be strong, the way you treat your enemies with a cold dignity, and the way you face your own inevitable end with an unblinking eye. In the year 2026, the man who lives for something far beyond his own limited lifespan is the only one who is truly, vibrantly alive. You are not a victim of the passing days, you are the architect of your own history. By choosing to live by timeless values, you have already conquered the grave before you have even reached it. We are now sealing this monumental, historic 50th chapter of the Timeless Wisdom Archives with a final, unbreakable, and absolute decree for the year 2026. You are a sacred bridge between the ancient, forgotten past and the infinite, unborn future, and your primary duty on this earth is to be the strongest, most resilient link in that eternal chain. Do not be content with a life that is merely comfortable, safe, or pleasant. Instead, strive with every breath for a life that is essential, meaningful, and transformative. Do not let the trivial, high-pitched noises of the year 2026 distract you even for a second from the silent, deep music of eternity. As you walk through the decaying, distracted, and shallow landscapes of this era, let your legacy be your shadow, long, deep, dark, and inevitable. You are the sacred custodian of a flame that must never be allowed to go out, no matter how hard the winds of the world may blow. The rest of the world is being slowly erased by the indifferent passage of days. You will be etched forever into the memory of the earth through the sheer weight and integrity of your actions. This is Christopher, speaking from the profound and silent heart of the 50th archive, reminding you that the end of this particular chapter is only the true beginning of your lasting influence on the world. The heavy, iron gates of the 50th chapter are now officially closed, but the path of the timeless man lies wide open before you, waiting for your footprints. Go forth and be the legend, be the pillar, and be the absolute sovereign master of your own eternity. Stay timeless in a world that is obsessed with seconds. Stay detached from the temporary lures of the flesh. Stay eternally wise as you build the monument of your own soul. Christopher, out.